You're listening to the Wise Women Invest podcast, a division of Noise Media Network, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney. Wise Women Invest is on a mission to help 1 million women learn how to make smart money moves by becoming savvy investors in real estate, the stock market, cryptocurrency, and early-stage businesses. Now your host, chief noisemaker, and wise woman herself, Audrey Bell Kearney.
Good morning. Good morning. It seems like forever. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning. Good morning. So glad to see you.
Let me tell you,
it's amazing how the weeks just come and they go so fast.
They go so fast. I'm so glad though, because I had a conference that I was doing that I hosted last week. I had to leave directly from the conference, go to the airport, fly out, then fly back in. And it's so crazy because I have had all kind of technical issues like yesterday and today, because, I came back in on Monday. I started my day off on Tuesday, thought I recorded my first show, only to realize this morning, I'm looking at the microphone check. I'm like, wait, the mic is not working. So for some reason, the mic wasn't working. I recorded a whole show yesterday and realized there was nothing recorded but the music. That's the only thing that was recorded because that's the only thing played. I'm like, wait a minute. So I had to go back, delete the entire episode. But what happened this morning was, I don't know now the mic is working fine right now, but this morning with my other platform, it wasn't working. So I had to just play music throughout the whole show. So I just call it Hump Day Vibes. That's like, it's a Hump Day Vibes. So that's what it's going to be today, because I don't know what's going on right now and I don't have time to figure it out. So we're going to play music all day. But anyway, I'm so glad that you were able to join us this morning to talk about investing and all the things that we need to know to make sure we are making sound investment strategies and the things that we need to do to build generational wealth, to get out of debt, to save for a rainy day, all of that good stuff that we need. And our topic today is, because I heard this recently, Carolyn, that's why I was like, this is going to be a good topic. How in the world can I invest when I don't have enough money at the end of the month? And I heard that because someone asked me that, and it's like, every dime I get go into paying my bills and taking care of my family. So how am I supposed to have money to invest? And I was like, well, this is going to be a great topic here, because I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way. And so I know who to go to. I know who to come to. I know who to bring this to. And I was like, I'm going to bring this right to Carolyn, because I know she got some answers for us. So thank you for being here with me this morning.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, when I saw your topic, I actually emailed you some of the things that people would have to start doing, and we can talk about some of those. But one of the things, and I'm so glad that this our segment is called Wise Women Invest, because, and not just women, but it's men too. It's investing. It's investing not also in the market, but investing in yourself. And that investing in yourself means that when it looks like all the money is gone, there's more months after the money. And that happens a lot, where there's more months after the money. Then you have to look for things that you can do to help change your money situation. The tips that we're going to give you today are not only going to help those of you who feel like you're in that situation, but they're also great tips for our first generation that we were going to talk about, the Generation Alpha. And that's the people who have kids that are between the age of 1 and roughly around 9 or 10 years old. So, but these tips are for everybody. So as we build on these every single week, you can start saying, okay, I need to go look at that. I need to go look at that. So how do you invest when there's no money left? Well, whenever you have more months after the money, then that means you have to find a way to generate some more income. You're going to have to find a way to generate some more income. Today, it's just really easier, because there are a lot of organizations out there, and we'll try to post some of those on a future broadcast, because I didn't pick up many of them today, but there are quite a few places that allow you to work from home. You can literally work from home, and even Audrey and I have an opportunity that we could talk to you about after the podcast, where you can work from home. You don't have to leave your house, because your additional income should not include something that's going to cost you to spend more money, like gas to go to that place, time away from your kids. So one of the number one thing is find a way to generate some additional income that is easier that you can do from your home. So you want to find a way to do that. And we're not talking long hours or, some of them you can pop on the computer. I have a single mom who's in business with me. She works a full-time job. She's in business with me to earn some extra income, but she also does something around the hours of 9 o'clock. Once she's put her son to bed, she's doing some type of service online where she's helping to book. It may be AAA or something like that, where she's helping people find someone or find some solution that they need. And she's making extra money. She says she makes about $600 extra a month, pays her car note, and it pays something else in the household. So, first tip is find a way to generate some additional income without you increasing your expenses. And that can be something that you can do from home. That will also free up some money for you to invest. Now, just here's the thing that I always say: when you get that additional income, don't start spending it on frivolous things. Don't say, "Oh, I got extra money. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that." So we're gonna talk about some of the things to look at as you are building or finding a way to have more money to invest. You have any comments, Audrey, on that additional income being the first thing that we talked about?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, all day long, I got a bunch of comments about that. Let me just say this, Carolyn. This is the greatest time in our history where there are so many opportunities to choose from that it's overwhelming. When I tell you my whole business is ran from home, my entire business, everything I do is ran from home. I published a magazine. I wanted to show you this. This is a magazine, right? It's called Noisemaker. So my company is Noise Media Network, but this is a real magazine. I do the entire thing from home, everything. I do everything from home. And so you got to think about this. If you go to YouTube University, I say this all the time on Good Morning Winnett. If you go to YouTube University and you just type in side hustles, there are so many. You can become a mobile notary and a virtual notary where you do notarizations from home. And they got companies that will hire you to do notarizations from home. You can kind of pick your hours. You can work anywhere between 10 at night to 3 in the morning, because somewhere around the world it's 10 o'clock a.m. when it's 10 o'clock at night here. You got mobile notaries. You got writing. If you are right, I was talking to someone today and they were saying how they like, I just want to dump my brain and just write. And I said, did you know that you can go to Fiverr.com and just put that you're a writer out there? Because people like me who don't like to write stuff will hire you to write for them. And you do that right from home and you just dump your brain, especially if you're creative. Carolyn, so many opportunities. I could go on and on forever, but I want to talk about one specific one. And this one does require you and there's a couple of them, but this one do require you to kind of leave the house a little bit. But it's so flexible till you can leave within your time frame. So I was talking to a lady recently, and like she needed to pick up some extra cash, and she said, I'm driving for Amazon Flex. And I said, well, what is Amazon Flex? She said, well, Amazon, when you get your stuff in a day, somebody has to deliver that stuff. Well, these are the Amazon Flex people, right? And I said, okay, well, tell me about it. So she said she got that Amazon has an app. She goes in the app. She picks she picks the time she want to do it, and she just goes and drive. So she made $300 in 2 days doing Amazon Flex, and she was trying to go on a trip. And it's like, I need to pay the trip. So 300, I think it was 357 in 2 days. So there are, and this is why working a full-time job as an IT consultant, being a full-time mom with a stay-at-home kid, and single. So that $300 she made in 2 days, that helped her do the things she wanted to do. So there are so many opportunities. I'm talking about opportunities galore. You can become a dispatcher for the same people that's calling in to figure out what can they pick up a route. You can become a dispatcher where you sit home and you dispatch out these routes for people who want to drive. There are people who just like to do. I don't like to drive, but there are people who love to drive, and they drive trucks, they drive vans, they drive box trucks. They love to drive, and they need somebody to dispatch those jobs out. So there are so many opportunities, Carol. I mean, so many. It's overwhelming. It's so many.
It is overwhelming. And I'm so glad you mentioned some of those, Audrey, because those were awesome. And you're right. It's so in the world we live in today, there's so many people there are people who need to work and earn extra income. And there are also a lot of people who don't want to work. And so because of that, it leaves even greater opportunity for those of you who want to. And there are great stay-at-home jobs where you don't have to leave. And kudos to you for even doing your magazine from home. That is amazing. So other than adding the additional income, the other thing you want to do is look at, what am I spending my money on? What are some of the things that I'm spending my money on that I should take a look at? So we're going to talk about a couple of those, and then Audrey will chime in, and we can tell you. We'll, of course, we're not going to get to all of them today, but they're just some of the things. Number one, banking fees. Think about this. There are a lot, and so you want to go look at your bank. Find out what account does your bank have, and it may not be your local bank. You may have to get a bank online. Find a bank where there are no fees. I have clients that were paying bank fees, Audrey. They were paying, if their account did not have a certain balance at the end of the month, they were paying bank fees. They were paying debt. If they bounced a check, they didn't have overdraft protection. If they bounced a check, they were paying $15 to $25. I had one client who in 1 month had $145 in overdraft fees. And I said, okay, first of all, you need to find a new bank that does not charge you fees. Find a new bank account. Ask your bank, what do you have? And some of them have larger balances that are required, but find out first. You don't know unless you ask. What account do you have that does not involve any fees? And there's some that are less than others. Search until you find that bank. There are some banks that are online, stable banks. They just have online presence where you can get an online account, no fees. So, and same thing, you get a checking account, the same thing as if it was a brick and mortar bank. The key is things have changed today. It doesn't have to be a brick and mortar bank. You can bank at a bank that's online and don't pay any fees for doing that. So make that one of the first things that you check. See where you're banking. Make sure that your bank is giving you the best account they have that does not have any fees associated with it. And I think I read that there was going to be some legislation to help banks reduce that amount that they're charging people. I don't know if you recall if that ever happened, Audrey, because they found that banks only spend maybe $1 or $2 for a bounce check, but they charge the consumer 25 to 35. Do you know if they changed that at all?
I think they did, because at the beginning of the year, we got a message from Bank of America saying that Bank of America had charged its overdraft fees, because Bank of America overdraft fees used to be $30, and so they
Wow.
dropped it down to $10. And so I think they may have changed it, because we got that notification. I was like, oh, okay. I personally hate paying any kind of fees, and I got to tell you this. Think about this for a second, right? When people say, well, how do I have money to invest? If you pay $15 a month in fees, right? Let's say you got two accounts, two checking accounts, one for business, one for whatever, but you pay $15 a month in fees. That comes out to $180 a year. That's $180 you could be investing.
You
And if
could
you
be.
got two accounts like I do, because I got a personal and a business, I got three accounts. I got my own, my husband, I got a joint, and then I got a business. So if that's three times $180 that can go into an investment. So you got to look at those things like Carolyn is saying, because that money adds up. It doesn't sound like a lot when you say, oh, it's only $15 a month, but you add that up over the course of 12 months. That adds up. That adds
It,
up.
it adds up. And I'm so glad you said that. That's how you do that. When you say, I don't have to, how can I invest when I don't have any money? You can do that. That's $180 that you can invest if you take away from those bank fees. One of the second biggest ones that we found in terms of how do you find money so you can invest is cellular data. Now, this is very interesting. Cellular data. There are a lot of people out there who pay for their data plans. They either run out of data, or if they don't have enough, they have to pay extra for it. You want to find a carrier where you don't have a lot of fees. Almost every company has it, but there are some companies out there now that you don't have to pay for data. So look for a cell phone that's going to give you the best. Again, we're talking about finding the best service for yourself that's not going to cost you a lot of money. You see them advertised on TV. There's some people who say, and I have a lot of business partners who say, you know what? I get a phone. I pay for all inclusive unlimited data, and my fee is less than most people pay for their plan every single month. So do some searching there. Look for that. Do not pay all of that money if you find that you're going over your data and you're paying charges on that. You need to find a better plan. Find a
Carolyn,
better plan. Go ahead,
and you know
Audrey.
what? I want to speak to that because my uncle has. So he said to me, he's like, "Yeah, I got to pay for my." So in my mind, I'm thinking, he's like, "I got to pay. I'm over my data." I'm like, "Oh, your data?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" So he plays a. It's almost like car insurance, right? The least you pay, the higher your deductible is going to be. Same thing. Think about it that way. So he plays a very low payment plan for his monthly, but by the time he go over the data, he's up to 100 and something dollars. So you're not saving any money. And when he said that to me, I said to him, I thought you had because I have whatever the highest plan is for data and all that. That's what I have. I said to him, I thought you had an all inclusive plan. He was like, no, I didn't have that because I pay. But then you paying an extra $35 because you're going over the data, because you are texting and sending pictures and streaming online and all of these things. So you're not saving any money in the long run. You will save a lot more money. And I thought I didn't even know they had plans like that, honestly, because I haven't had one since cell phones first came out. The minute they said you can have a plan that included everything, I jumped on it because I know a lot of my business is done on the phone. So that is so true. And people think that they're saving money, but they're not. It's kind of like your car. Well, I don't want to pay this much insurance, but then your deductible is $1,000, and if should anything happen, and that $1,000, oh my God, well, you paid the lowest insurance. You picked the lowest plan, so that's why your deductible is so high.
Exactly. And thank you. That is firsthand information, Audrey, firsthand experience of how that cellular data thing worked. And one thing too, I told people when I didn't have an all-inclusive plan, I always remembered that wherever I was to sign on to any Wi-Fi network that was around because it allowed me to save my own data. So you want to do that as well. If sign on to somebody else's, if there's one in the area, sign on to it because that helps save your data as well. Next one we want to talk about is dining out. Dining out. There are so many people who say, you know what, I don't have enough money. How can I invest when I don't have enough money? Tell me your habits. And I kid you not, one client, I was talking to her and she was telling me that she didn't have enough money. And I said, are you driving? She says, yes. I said, okay. We kept talking. I said, so where are you going? Oh, I'm just going over here to Chick-fil-A. I said, oh, okay. And what are you going to Chick-fil-A for? She said, to get dinner. I said, oh, okay. So no dinner in the house? She said, well, there was some in there. I just didn't want it. I said, okay. And so I heard her place her order, and her order came to $13 and some cents because she got something for her mom as well. I said, okay, just add that. If you did that every day, how often do you go to Chick-fil-A? She said, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. I said, well, I'm not knocking Chick-fil-A because I love Chick-fil-A. I said, I'm just saying to you that you need to consider, what can I do that's better? Can I cook at home? Can I reduce the number of times that I go out to eat? Because when you shop for your grocery and you prepare your meals, I know it's easier to go out and get something, but think about all the money that you spend. We did a survey and we found that most people spend over $3,000 a year. $3,000 a year eating out. That's a lot of money. And for some people, it's more than that because it all depends on where you choose to dine out. You may, if you dine, some places with 3,000 a year, some people are over that because they like going to a restaurant. They like going to sit down, Audrey, and have the family there and eating that. That additional money is money that people can free up to save and invest. Your
Carolyn,
comments are leading up.
I'm so guilty about that. I'm so guilty because every Friday we go to dinner. Every Friday. And then in between dinner, there is some eating out. So we go to dinner every Friday. We spend at least $70 every Friday. Just so that's $280. Like let me get I got my calculator. So that's 280 right there, right? Times 12. That's $3,360 that I know, and that's not even all of it. That's just Fridays. That's just Fridays. So I know that what you're saying is absolutely the truth. But just think about what you just said. If we took that $3,360 and invested it a year, that's a chunk of money. And that is not even including like Wednesday, like the day my husband's going to call me and say, "What's for dinner?" And I'm gonna say, "I don't know. Pick up something." I already know he's gonna call and say that because this is what happened every Wednesday. We never know what we're gonna have on Wednesday. And he'd call me and say, "What's for dinner?" I'm like, "I don't know. Just pick up something." And that's another $30. So you're talking about another $120 on the 280 that we've already spent. So that's 300 and what, $400? That's
Yeah,
$400 comes out to $4,800 for the year. That's true.
exactly. And Audrey, that's the thing. People don't think about that. And they say, I don't have any money. And literally, I can tell you so many. And I have clients that say, okay, Carolyn, find something else for me because I don't know if I can stop the eating. I say, yes, you can. It's a matter of you simply planning. You've got a plan. And we're not saying that you can't eat out. You can eat out, but look at what you're spending when you say, I don't have enough money to invest. Look at what you're spending because you may be able to cut back some and take a portion of that and invest it. It's an incredible way to do that. Dining out. Another thing that a young man, a young man that I work with, he's so funny every day because he even came to. He was. I saw him at my church on Sunday. One Sunday, he comes up and he said, "I need to go make a run real quick." And I said, "Where are you running to?" He said, "Starbucks." I said, "Oh, okay." So the last time we talked about him investing, he says, I said, you know what? Tell me how often you go to Starbucks. He said, pretty much every day. And he gets a caramel macchiato, something, something stirred, but he spends a lot of money he spends he said between $4 and $8 a day at Starbucks,
Yeah.
right? So again, we're not knocking Starbucks. It's a great place, great establishment. But imagine going to the store, getting that premium coffee. I think you can even buy a Starbucks coffee, and make it yourself before you leave home. Just another simple way to think about freeing up some money so you have money to invest.
I want to say this. When I first got my license, it was in 1999 when I got my financial advisor license, right? And back then, everything was a rage. Robert Kiyosaki was telling you about how to become a rich, like rich dad, poor dad. We were all in. We were all into this whole money thing, and we were reading different books and how to have multiple streams of income. We were all in, right? And they're still all in today, but it was a little bit different then because we didn't have so much information. We only had a few gurus who were telling us how to do this. One of the things they said do was create four banks. So I went out and bought four piggy banks, and one of the banks was for fun, right? And I told my husband, I said, listen, I'm gonna handle fun. And to this day, I still handle fun. So I said, I'm gonna handle fun. But we got fun, we got vacation, we got savings and emergency. That's what we had. Now, here's the problem with that. It worked for a long time. When I
Mm.
moved to Georgia, I stopped the practice, which I can't imagine why I stopped the practice. I stopped the practice, but as I'm sitting here thinking, I think I need to start it back again because now it's kind of like, and I think the problem is that when you got more money coming in, you kind of a little bit flexible with what you do. Like you got more money, okay, I can do that, I could do that. So you stop the good habits, right? And you pick up some really bad ones without even knowing it. And I know that's what we've done because we didn't have a ton of money coming in, I had all these little things and we would take the money out the piggy bank and we'd go have fun. Or we'd take the money out the bank, we'll go travel. And then emergency stayed there and household stayed there. Now it's like, well, we got extra, right? And then when you listen to yourself, like I'm just listening to myself, like that's $4,800 a year we're spending or more. That doesn't even include groceries. So I think the other thing too is to create great money habits, like having money automatically deducted from your pay going into these accounts. And so let me ask you this, Carolyn, because I think this is going to be key to a lot of people. Is there a minimum amount that you could put into an investment account? Because just say, for instance, that person say, okay, I'm about to leave my bank. I'm about to go to online banking where there are no monthly fees. So I would like to take that $15 a month. I know it's not a lot, but I would like to take that $15 a month and automatically have it go into an investment account. Is there a minimum on the amount that you have to invest into an investment account?
I'm glad you asked that because I meant to say it earlier and then I forgot. But when we talked about freeing up that $15, all you have to do is add another 10 to it. The minimum is $25. You can actually start investing with as little as $25. I have a lot of students from down the AU Center here in Atlanta that invest, and they started with $25 a month. You know, some of them have left college and now they've increased it, but a lot of them started with $25 a month. It's a great way to start. It's a minimum amount. And if you say, let me see if I can find $25 a month. Of course, you know, it's going to take you longer with just 25, but it's a start. That's the minimum that you need. And then you go on from there. So yes, you can actually start investing with as little as $25 a month. And Audrey, to be honest with you, there's some millennials and Generation Alpha kids that are actually spending more than $25 in a day on just stuff,
Heck,
you know,
my
in a week.
nephew was an alpha, and my brother gives him about $25 a day. And so you talking about 5 days a week, that's $125 a week he gets to go to high school. And he literally lives across the street from the high school. What are you spending that money on?
Oh,
Literally. Like
wow.
he can literally walk to school, but because of how because of the school system, they have to get on the bus, but he can walk to school. He can come home from lunch, $25 a day he gets. That's a
Wow.
$125 a week.
Oh my goodness. He could be a millionaire by the time he gets our age because to $100 a week, can you imagine that he could even take half of that and start investing? That would be awesome. I want to touch on one more. I'm not sure how much time we have, but I want
Yeah,
to
go
touch on
ahead.
one
Hmm.
more big one before we go in. And this one I actually got from one of my clients as well. She came in complaining about how all of her money that was going out. So we just started looking at all of her bills and what she was spending. She was actually spending about $180 to $190 a month in her cable bill. And I think it kept going up and kept going up. And I said, what do you watch? She said, most of the time, to be honest with you, the TV's watching me. And I said, what did she say? I just turn it on and I typically go to sleep. I said, so you don't have any favorite shows that you watch? You don't have any that? She said, no. I said, so why do you still have cable? And she said, you know what? Let's go do some investigation. And she did. And she came back and said that she was able to get, with all of the streaming channels that are out there now, between Netflix and Hulu and Roku. I think Roku is a way to get internet TV without having to get cable. She went from spending $190 a month to think she told me she spends, she has internet service with AT&T, I think a basic internet service. And then from there, she went from spending $190 to $70 a month. That's all she pays. She has streaming services and basic internet. And I was like, wow. And I was so you can drop cable. And today, depending on what you watch, you know, I even heard that the NFL was going to be coming up with a streaming channel. So pretty soon the guys are going to be like, hey, let me just get an NFL streaming and I won't have to have cable for the NFL either. So I thought that's a great way to find some money to invest as well.
Let me tell you, the reason I used to have Direct TV was because my mom and my husband wanted the NFL packet, right? And right now, it's coming up to September, the packet kicked in $60 extra on top of the bill. So my bill would be $270 something a month for cable. It was already 200 and I think 19 or something. Then you add another 60 that, so it went up to like 270. So this happened from September to February after the Super Bowl. This was every year. So then when my mom passed, because my mom was she was a basketball and football aholic. Like she watched nothing but the soap operas during the day and sports at night. And I had to leave it on. But when she passed away, I dropped the package because my husband like, I don't need to see that because I'm I'm working, so I can see all the games on Sundays and Thursday night football, which comes on regular television. And so streaming services are a great way. And when I tell you there are so many of those right now, when you think about Hulu, I think it's about $7 a month. You can even get HBO if you want to for $14.99. So if you got your favorite shows on HBO, you can just split HBO by itself and pay $14.99 a month. You can get Peacock, Tubi. If you got Amazon and a Fire Stick, Amazon Prime is $14 a month. That's thousands and thousands of shows. And like your friend Carolyn, guess what I watch the most of? YouTube. And if you got great shows that you want to watch on YouTube, it's $7.99 a month for that. So that is absolutely a great way to save some money. Because a few years ago they had what was called the cord cutting ceremony, where people just started getting rid of cable. As a matter of fact, Netflix lost 1 million subscribers last month, and they like going crazy because people's like Netflix went up to $19. We started out at $7. Now it's $19.99. I'm tempted to cancel Netflix. I'm like, what the heck? So people are just jumping shit because why would I pay $19 for Netflix for real? Because I really could just watch all I want to watch on YouTube, because that's what I spend most of my time watching anyway. So a lot of people left Netflix because they went from when we started, I think it was $7.99. It's $19.99 just for Netflix. And Netflix only has about 1,000 shows. So once you go through your favorite shows, why you need Netflix to watch the other shows that you don't want to watch anyway? So there's a lot of ways to cut out these expenses, and I'm so glad that we talked about this. And I just want to talk. I want you to talk real quickly about dollar cost averaging, because even though people think that I only got $25 to invest, it's the consistency and that automatic money that's coming in into that account that's really important.
That is so true, Audrey. And one of the best things, that the three things you want to look for when you are investing is determination. You want to make sure that you're actually doing it every month, that you have dollar cost averaging, and you have diversification. And so that's one of the three D's. You definitely want to make sure that you are doing that every single. And with dollar cost averaging, when your $25 is going in, it's going to catch the market at different intervals. So if your let's say the share price is down, you're going to buy more shares. When it's up, you buy less shares. But at the end of the period, you add the number of shares times the last share price, and you'll see that you paid less per share than the average person did, because you took advantage of the dollar cost averaging. That's allowing your money to systematically go in, and the market is going to be doing this. And when the market is going up and down, and that's what I'm doing, my finger's going up and down. When the market is going up and down, when it's down, you buy more shares. When it's up, you buy less shares. But you would have accumulated more shares, and the value of your account would have gone up. So it's a great thing to have that even if it's $25, you're still taking advantage of the fluctuations in the market. The key is being consistent.
The key is being consistent. Listen, guys, we hope that you understand that there are so many ways to find that extra money to put in investments. So many ways. I didn't even realize it, Carolyn. I'm always talking about AMC. So I was looking at my investments last night, and I actually own some Tesla. I'm like, wait a minute, I own Tesla? It's so many ways to do that. Carolyn and I can help you get your investment portfolio started, but there are also so many resources out there that you can do on your own. But you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. You don't want to just go out there and do it. If you don't understand, consult a professional. Every Wednesday, well, almost every Wednesday, we're trying to get better, and it's my fault. I'm just gonna say it's my fault that we're not here every Wednesday, but we're trying to get better, making sure that we come in, and we're probably gonna get on a better schedule of every other Wednesday. But we want to make sure that what we bring you the resources. And if you can't find them on your own, you can always go to wisewomaninvest.today and email us and say, listen, I need help. We're here to help you. We're here to help you make sound financial decisions and put these strategies in place so you can continue to grow. As little as $25 a month, y'all. All of these things are important. So I want to thank you guys for listening and watching us today. We'll be back again next Wednesday for another episode of Wise Women Invest. And remember, even though the title says Wise Women Invest, it's for anybody. We just happen to be women. So we always like to say that. So Carolyn, thank you so much for joining me as always. And I hope that this was helpful to somebody who's saying, listen, I don't have enough money at the end of the month. Go to YouTube, find you a side hustle. When you find that side hustle, take that money. Don't spend it. Don't go buy the shoes. Don't go buy the purse. Don't go get your nails done. Take that extra $40, whatever it is, and put it in your investment account. And if you need help doing that, reach out to us. We'll be able to help you. Carolyn, again, thank you. I will be back. We'll be back next Wednesday with another show. Until next time, everybody.
Have a good day.
All right. Until next time, everybody. Y'all be safe out there. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to the Wise Women Invest podcast. Tune in daily at 6 p.m. for a new investment tip to help you make smart money moves. To learn more about Wise Women Invest and to join our community and investment club, go to www.wisewomeninvest.club. To never miss an episode of the podcast, download the Wise Women Invest app from the App Store and be sure to share the show with another wise woman. Again, our website is www.wisewomeninvest.club.